I'm the Education Director here at FUNKe Fired Arts, and this is the first installment of Ben's Tip of the Week. So just go to www.funkefiredarts.com each week, and I will have a helpful hint to improve your skill level when working with clay. Now, whether you're a studio potter at home or you're actually in one of our classes, this is your resource for that refresher you need to improve each week. Alright, so this first installment's going to be on centering. Now, whether you're working with 2 pounds of clay or 10 pounds of clay, you're going to run into unique problems that we're going to try and fix. So let's go ahead and get set. If you've been watching videos on YouTube to help you out with centering, you might think it takes 8 to 10 minutes to center a lump of clay, when actually we need to use that pressure to our advantage and get the centering done quickly so that our lump of clay is still strong for the pulling portion of the exercise. So we're going to start out with a 4-pound lump of clay. And first thing I'm going to do is hammer this down on the center of the wheel and get a good stick. Once I've done that, I want to make sure I've got enough water to get my hand smoothly running across the surface of this clay. When this dries up and your hand starts to drag, the portion of the clay you're touching spins slower than what's attached to the wheel, and you start to torque the clay. So we want to prevent that by the use of water. I'm going to get the wheel spinning pretty quickly here, and you can see I'm sitting as close to the wheel as I possibly can. Now, the key to this is that I don't try and force this in with just my arms. Alright? I need to anchor my elbow inside my hip bone, inside my leg, whatever is the most comfortable, so that when I lean forward, my arm has no choice but to get pushed into the lump of clay. Alright? So, this part of my palm right here is what directs that pressure right into the center of the lump of clay. My pinky over here controls that clay that's stuck to the bat and tries to keep it from slipping underneath my hand. And that pressure is what gets us started. Now, this thumb is very important with the centering process. If I drop this down a little bit, this part of my palm controls the shoulder of the lump of clay, and that's key. So, I'll add a little more water, get that wheel spinning, elbow anchored, and I lean my body into that lump of clay. Now, until you see something drastic happen, like the climbing of this lump of clay, you're not putting enough pressure on it. That lean in applies a huge amount of pressure using your body weight and shoots that clay up. That's where your right hand gets involved. Take that pinky of your right hand and take it straight across the center of that lump of clay and lean the hand over so that it grips your left hand. When your hands work as one unit, they do things much quicker. So as I apply that pressure with my left hand, lean down with my right hand, and hold still for several revolutions, I can quickly get that lump of clay centered. Now, a few things you might run into. Alright? No matter how crazy this lump of clay is, that pressure inward, pressure downward, and that stillness, once you get the pressure in there, is what's important. The let go, that release of the clay, is as important as everything that comes before it. I can get this clay centered, and as soon as I feel that stillness, if I let go too quickly, you can see the bounce back, because what's happening is when you center, you actually push that lump of clay away from you. It bends away from you slightly, and that release allows it to spring back. So, once you get it centered, a release in slow motion keeps that lump of clay centered. Alright? So those are the important parts of centering the lump of clay. Let's go over it one more time. Elbow anchored. Hand down on the bat. Using this part of the palm, press in until you get that growth. Cap the growth with your right hand, pinky straight across the center. Let your body weight do the work. Just lean in and slowly let that center come, and then release in slow motion. And you should have quick success with any lump of clay. Alright, now, when dealing with 10 pounds of clay or more, that use of body weight becomes much more important. I'm going to take this lump of clay, and before I even attempt to center it, I'm going to spin the wheel slowly and slap from both sides to just bring it into center. This takes care of a portion of that job for me. Now I'll add the water and start that centering process. Again, my elbow is going to be anchored. And before I try and tackle this entire lump of clay, I'm going to take my right hand and put it on the back side of the lump, and I'll apply pressure from both sides and slide my hands up the lump of clay. This helps calm that surface down a little bit and get it one step closer to the perfect center. Now I can deal with chunks of this lump of clay instead of trying to deal with the entire thing at once. Elbow anchored, I'm going to go ahead and center the top of the 10 pounds. So right now I'm probably dealing with 2 to 3 pounds at once. Now I'll apply downward pressure and bring that left palm down and work on the next third of the lump of clay. And once that's under control, add more water, downward pressure, and bring my left palm all the way down to the back. So by using those simple steps, I've managed a large lump of clay without stressing my wrist and without getting myself in trouble. Kind of that wrestling match, you know, with the large lump of clay. So break it down, use your body weight, and take it step by step.